We're just a couple days away from UFC 311, Islam Makhachev versus Arman Tsarukyan, which means it's time for me to break down every single fight on this card, starting with the early prelim opener, going all the way up to the main event of the evening. So let me jump right into it with the first fight of the night, Tagir Ulanbekov versus Clayton Carpenter. Tagir is 15-2, Clayton Carpenter is 8-0. Tagir's only lost to like Tim Elliott recently, and he's been beating guys like Nate Maness, guys like that, you know, actual proven established guys. Clayton Carpenter, he beat Lucas Rocha in his last fight, which Lucas Rocha, he did stick it in there with Clayton Carpenter, and he was on a tear. He was on a tear coming into that fight, but I just don't think Clayton Carpenter is going to be able to stand with Tagir, and there's a 5-inch reach disadvantage here for Clayton Carpenter. Tagir is going to be longer than him, better on the feet, and I don't think Clayton's going to really want to grapple with him. I think Tagir is going to win this by unanimous decision, give Clayton Carpenter a few things to work on, but I think Tagir takes home a decision win, will be my official pick. Next fight up the card, we've got Rinya Nakamura versus Muin Gafurov. So, Rinya Nakamura is 9-0, coming off of a decision win over Carlos Vera. Muin Gafurov's coming off of a win over Kyung-Ho Kang, but he's lost to guys like Said Nurmagomedov, John Castaneda, Chad Henniger, and John Lineker. And it's those aren't amazing losses to have, especially Chad Henniger. He's not a good fighter. So losing to him, it's kind of embarrassing. Muin Gafurov, all he really has going for him is that he's the hairiest guy in the UFC. You know, you'll see this guy walk to the ring and you're like, Jesus Christ, shave, but it's fucking gross, man. He's like Bigfoot out there. He looks like an abominable fucking snowman. Dude's... I digress. Rinya Nakamura, he's left a lot to be desired, if I'm not going to lie. That Carlos Vera fight was... he won it by unanimous decision, but I think he gave up a round, and I don't think it was anything impressive against Carlos Vera. I would like to see a more dominant display of his skills here, but I think Rinya's going to take home a decision win for his efforts. That'll be the official pick. Next fight up the card, we've got Carol Rosa versus Ailín Pérez. This one, for me, is pretty easy to pick. Carol Rosa is one of the girls where she'll take a win off of a no-name random girl, but then she'll lose to a Sarah McMahon. It's come on, Sarah McMahon's gonna, that's your level, that's your tipping point. A Sarah McMahon, Norma Dumont's pretty good. Irene Aldana's pretty good. Sarah McMahon, that's all I need to see. Ailín Pérez is gonna win this fight by decision. We're gonna see her do a wall twerk again with her child in the front row. Can't wait for that. Ailín Pérez by decision is the official pick. Next fight we cover, we've got Ricky Turcios versus Benardo Sopaj. Wonder if this fight's actually going to happen. I think it's been rescheduled twice now. Might have only been once, but Ricky Turcios, this guy, people forget, guys, this guy's got a wiry style. He's like a kung fu master in the ring. You know, he's doing the little dances, you know. That's his style, you know. He's kind of, he thinks he's he thinks he's Cobra Kai, you know. He thinks he's the Karate Kid. So he's out there doing a bunch of spins and shit, and it's yeah, did anyone teach you how to throw a jab, buddy? You know, it looks like he's trying to steal wins, more than he's trying to actually win a fight. He's trying to throw out his hands and make the judges think that he's throwing punches when they're not actually landing. It's do something. Do something, Turcios. And Sopaj, he's got a pretty good grappling style. Yeah, he took 2 rounds off of Vinicius Oliveira in that fight before he gassed out and got obliterated by that flying knee. But I don't think Turcios is going to do that to him. I think Benardo Sopaj is going to be able to out-grapple Turcios the same way Raul Rosas Jr. was. So I'm going to pick Benardo Sopaj to win a decision against Ricky Turcios. That'll be the official pick. Next fight up the card, we've got Grant Dawson versus Carlos Diego Ferreira. This one's interesting because Grant Dawson got obviously fraud checked by Bobby Green, but then he's put together 2 wins since then, you know, Joe Selecki and Rafa Garcia. Diego Ferreira is, he's on a kind of a tear right now, though. He beat Mateusz Rebecki and Michael Johnson before that. And Michael Johnson, I probably would have picked Diego Ferreira against, but Mateusz Rebecki, I did lose that pick, you know. I wasn't expecting that one, but he was trying to strike with Diego Ferreira, and he had a crazy reach disadvantage. And I don't think Grant Dawson's going to strike with him. He's going to use his boring fucking grappling style where he's gonna just, as he said himself, he's just gonna bank these rounds out with the grappling. Looking for a submission the whole round, as his own words. That's what he thinks he'd do to Islam Makhachev, but he's actually just gonna do it to Diego Ferreira this weekend. We're approaching Grant Dawson's ceiling, I think. Give him someone a bit better versed, a bit younger, you know, they can stick in there more with the cardio, because I think Grant Dawson's going to weigh on Diego in this fight. Give him someone that can stick in there cardio-wise, and Grant Dawson, he might be cooked. If the dude can also stick in there in the striking realm, but we'll see what happens. I think Grant Dawson takes home a decision win. That's the official pick. Next fight up the card. Not Cedric Dumas anymore against Zachary Reese. He pulled out as I was about to make this. Instead, Zachary Reese got a new opponent, Azamat Bekoev. You know, Zachary Reese now might have a tougher opponent originally. Azamat Bekoev does have a pretty extensive career. He was fighting in LFA, fought Dylan Budka in LFA to a split decision, though. What do you think Zachary Reese would do to Dylan Budka? Serious question. What do you think Zachary Reese would do to Dylan Budka? I think he would absolutely murder Dylan Budka within a round. But Azamat Bekoev's going to a split decision with him. And, you know, he's lost by submission before, lost 2 split decisions in his career. Zachary Reese, I think he can get this one done. And I don't think he would have taken this fight on short notice if he didn't have faith that he can get it done against a guy like Azamat Bekoev. I think Zachary Reese is going to find a submission. You know, a random guy in ACA, Rafael Heretic or something like that, was able to submit Azamat Bekoev, and I think Zachary Reese, his submission skills are pretty good. I think he's going to find a submission win over Azamat in the first or second round. I'm going to say second round. I think they slug it out in the first round a bit, and no. It's going to be the end of the first round. Zachary Reese is not going far with this guy. He's going to submit him early on. End of the first round, round 1 submission for Zachary Reese. That's the official pick. So we've got Jailton Almeida versus Serghei Spivac. This is another layup for Almeida, because Almeida only wins he only wins these fights against these big fat oafs. You know, Serghei Spivac, he's got some grappling ability to him. You know, I'm not saying he's a shitty fighter. I'm just saying he's a fat ass. And those are the guys that Almeida beats. That's just being real. Almeida will take Serghei down. You know, he's more physically imposing. He's a strong guy. And he's going to beat him up on the ground. He's going to get a round 1 or round 2 TKO win over Serghei Spivac. I see a large amount of people on Topology are picking Almeida by submission. Spivac's never been submitted in the UFC. I don't see that happening. Even though Almeida has submitted more times, he's knocked out. I see him getting top control on Serghei Spivac, raining down some of those very weak ground and pound that he does, and he's going to get a stoppage over Serghei Spivac. I'm going to go with Jailton Almeida by TKO in this fight. That's the official pick. Next fight up the card, we've got the featured prelim bout, Payton Talbott versus Raoni Barcelos. Now, this is definitely the end of Raoni Barcelos. I think he's going to retire after this one, because I think he's going to get absolutely obliterated in that first round by Payton Talbott on the feet. He's going to get knocked out, clean unconscious. Payton Talbott's going to do a backflip or 2 over top of Raoni Barcelos in the middle of the ring. And I'm going to go with the Payton Talbott round 1 flatline KO win. I really do think Payton Talbott, he's got a lot of potential, so I can't wait to see where he goes. But let's give him a real opponent, maybe one more layup and then a real opponent, because I guess he hasn't had that much UFC ring time, but 37-year-old Raoni Barcelos, who's lost like 4 of his last 5 fights, not a good opponent for Payton Talbott, but I think he's going to win round 1 KO. That's the official pick. So I realized this graphic was actually missing a fight, so instead of going up to the main card, now we've got one more, Bogdan Guskov versus Billy Elikana. Elikana is on short notice, coming from the LFA. This was supposed to be Bogdan Guskov versus Johnny Walker, but Johnny Walker pulled out of the fight. Elikana came in. They love scooping up some LFA talent on short notice to bring in, like that Carlos Leal guy they brought in against Fakhretdinov. He held his own against Fakhretdinov, but Fakhretdinov, I don't know why I'm even talking about that fight, but Bogdan Guskov, he's pretty good. I've not given him enough credit in his UFC tenure so far. I think I picked Ryan Spann against him. I was an idiot, and I think I picked... who did he fight before that? Zach Pauga. I think I even picked Zach Pauga to beat Bogdan Guskov. So I've been way off on this guy. I hope I'm not wrong here, because I think Bogdan Guskov is going to be way better than Billy Akena. Akena is coming from LFA, as I said. He's only like 7-1 professionally. Bogdan Guskov, a lot more experience. He's got some nice wiry strikes. He's got some oomph to his hits. Ailín has never been knocked out, but first for everything, Bogdan Guskov's putting this guy out in the first round. It's going to be a crazy KO, I think. First round KO for Bogdan Guskov. That's the official pick. Next fight up the card. First fight on the main card, we've got Kevin Holland versus Reinier de Ridder. Kevin Holland's coming off of the loss to Roman Dolidze, which is a terrible loss to have, man. Ha, you suck. You're terrible. Imagine losing to Roman Dolidze. That's crazy. It was a rib injury type thing where he popped his rib out and Kevin Holland started crying immediately and got the fight stopped. Reinier de Ridder came off of a submission win over Gerald Meerschaert. It was pretty not impressive, though. Like, if you watched the fight, they were on the ground for a while. Gerald Meerschaert looked like he had nothing left to give. Reinier de Ridder pretty much the same before he laced up that arm triangle, and then he was gasping for air after he got the win. Kevin Holland, though, he's one of these fighters that whenever something's not going his way, he has no issue with giving up. I've been saying this. Kevin Holland has no issue with giving up in a fight when something's not going his way. You saw it in the Roman Dolidze fight. I even said it before that fight, guys. I told you Roman Dolidze was going to win. I told you. And what happened? He gave up at the first sign of adversity. I think Reinier de Ridder, he's a big guy for middleweight, and I think he's going to wrestle fuck Kevin Holland and submit him in the first round. That's the official pick. Next fight up the card, we've got Beneil Dariush versus Renato Moicano. So, about this fight, Renato Moicano, he has subveyed my expectations at every turn and bend, in the road. That is his career. I've picked against him at every one of these turns. He beat Drew Dober, That Jalen Turner fight, I don't want to talk about again, His last fight, Benoit Saint-Denis, I thought for sure was going to get it done, but no, he just sucks. Beneil Dariush, though. If you're picking Moicano to win, how do you see Moicano beating Beneil? And I get it. Oh, he's old. He's washed up. Beneil's 35 years old. Moicano's also 35 years old. So, is it the age? Is it the fact that he lost to Arman Tsarukyan and Charles Oliveira in his last two fights? Is that why? People think Moicano is on the same level as Charles Oliveira and Arman Tsarukyan? It's not real. Guys, I understand. You like Moicano. Bring me the money. All this shit. He's not beating a grappler. But Beneil's got the tools to win this fight, is all I'm saying. He beat Mateus Gamrot. He beat some pretty good competition. Tony Ferguson, Carlos Diego Ferreira. He's lost to Arman Tsarukyan and Charles Oliveira. And you think Moicano's taking it? I don't see it happening. I think Moicano's last loss was to RDA, who is also the same archetype of fighter, They can win it in the grappling realm and keep it interesting on the feet. But Beneil's got a good striking style, too. I don't see how Moicano wins, is all I'm saying. I think Beneil's going to take home a decision win, get himself back in the win column. I think he's got one more in him. He's only 35 years of age, and I get it. He's lost his last two against killers, Arman Tsarukyan and Charles Oliveira. I don't see Moicano being cut from the same cloth as them, is all I'm going to say. I'm going to pick Beneil Dariush to take home a decision win, underdog odds. That's the pick. Next one up the card, Jiri Prochazka versus Jamahal Hill. Oh my God, I cannot wait for this one, guys. Jiri Prochazka coming off of a win over... No, he lost his last one to Ferreira. He won the fight before that to Rakic, and then he lost to Pereira again. Hill's coming off of a loss to Pereira. This is the Pereira-Son fight. But listen to me, if you're picking Jiri confidently, when this guy has zero defense in his entire fucking career, keeps his hands at his waist, gotten rocked in every single fight, even that Rakic fight, Rakic was kicking his ass before Rakic blew his load, Dominic Reyes knocked him out with an up kick in their fight before he got knocked out with a spinning back elbow. Like, Prochazka's taken 3 careers worth of damage in 5 years of fights. Jamahal Hill, I get he came back too soon. He got knocked out by Ferreira. He's going to absolutely murder Jiri Prochazka. He's going to leave him lifeless in the middle of the ring. Jiri's going to be breathing from a tube. Sweet dreams, buddy. You got hit by a big right hand. Jamahal Hill, round 1 KO. I don't give a fuck what you guys have to say. You guys hate Jamahal Hill because he sold a fight. Jiri's dying. Jiri's fucking dead. He's good as dead. He's laying there in the middle of the ring. Jamahal Hill, round 1 KO is the official pick. Moving up to the co-main event of the evening, Merab Dvalishvili versus Umar Nurmagomedov. Guys, this is a repeat of the Moicano one. How do you see Merab winning this fight? You see him taking down Umar? Do you see him taking down Umar, taking rounds off of him because he took down Umar Nurmagomedov? I don't see him taking down Umar. Umar is denying those takedowns, keeping on the feet. And last fight against Merab, Sean O'Malley, I picked Sean O'Malley to knock out Merab in the second round by KO. You know, I picked him to knock him out in the second round. I picked him to time a knee up the middle. Umar Nurmagomedov is way better versed to do that than O'Malley was. You got to admit, Umar has a way better chance to knock out Merab after denying takedowns and keeping on the feet. Umar has a kickboxing background. And I get that random Bekzak guy was able to make it close. But he also was from kickboxing. Merab, his striking pales in comparison to Umar Nurmagomedov. I'm going to pick Umar to knock out Merab Dvalishvili is what I'm saying. In the early rounds, round 2 or round 3, I'm going to go with Umar round 2 KO. I get we're getting juicy with these picks, guys, but I see a vision here. Umar denying the takedowns, keeping on the feet, beating Merab up. What fight hasn't Merab gotten hurt in? Even the O'Malley one, he couldn't pitch a shutout. He got hurt at the final minute. And Umar's getting it done, guys. There's no path to victory for Merab. He doesn't get to exploit a grappling weakness of O'Malley here. He doesn't get to spam takedowns. Umar beats him where he wins these fights. Umar wins. Umar's taking the belt. Umar round 2 KO is the official pick. Moving up to the main event, Islam versus Arman. And I get it, a lot of people are going to be picking Arman in this one just because of the odds, and it does scare you away a bit looking at a minus 320 when their first fight came so close, and especially Islam's last fight came so close. But I think Islam actually had a staph infection for that Dustin Poirier fight, if I remember correctly. And I'm not going to keep making excuses for Islam. He's not some unkillable beast or anything. This fight could be close. But Arman Tsarukyan, I just think, has way more holes in his game. I think the Charles Oliveira fight's weird to judge. Because, it was pretty close. It was pretty close. And it comes down to a few crucial moments, like an axe kick from Arman and shit like that. And it's like a 5-round fight. I think Islam's just going to weigh on Arman too much to where, Islam's going to take home a unanimous decision. Might be 4 rounds to 1, 3 rounds to 2, something like that. But Islam's taking this win. He's going to take this win. It's going to be a gritty 5-round fight, but I'm going to take Islam to win 5-round decision. I'm probably going to do a more extensive video later in the week, but let me know what you guys thought of my picks. That's every fight on this card. Thank you for watching the whole thing. We'll be back here for more soon. Thank you for watching.